All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to First Team Wednesday trainings. We appreciate you being part of First Team Real Estate. Today, we have Testimonial Tree. Justin Corbett, VP of Operations there at Testimonial Tree. We're in for a treat about a deeper dive on our Testimonial Tree that every agent has here at First Team Real Estate. And Justin, you're already sharing your screen and you're on.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you guys for having me out on the West Coast. Hopefully, I'm not sure if any of your team members or agents are out or over in Vegas right now for leading RE, which I know is starting day two. So hopefully they didn't have too much fun on night one last night. But excited to be with you guys, and yeah. So really, kind of today we'll just do kind of a quick kind of overview. Kind of how we work with First Team, and really the benefits for you as an agent can really take advantage of. So just to kind of dive in, and what you'll see right now is the main account, if you will. As Greg had noted, every agent within First Team has their own individual testimonial tree account. So you can access your dashboard, which will look exactly like this, but obviously you'll only be able to see your information as with regards to surveys and testimonials that come in. So in terms of that, not to get overly technical, but I always like to give a little bit behind the scenes, in that we work with your internal IT department, and they help supply an agent roster, which we process on a daily basis. So if there's updates or anything like that, that gets processed to us through a nightly feed. And so once that processes, again, on a daily basis, we in turn update your account profile. The nice thing is, as for you guys as an agent, you don't necessarily have to worry about anything because that's all really done behind the scenes. Now, the other cool integration that is actually a little bit more exciting than talking about roster feeds and that is we actually have a connection into SkySlope. So with SkySlope, we pull once a day closed transactions. So when you do have a closing, whether it's a buyer or seller, we actually will pull that data from the First Team corporate account, which will then automate a feedback request that will go out to your client. So that's why you'll see kind of on the dashboard, on the right-hand side, you'll see surveys and then testimonials. The SkySlope integration is something that is a little newer, as we did have something in place, and then there was a brief period of time where we weren't doing surveys and it was just strictly testimonials. But now with your connection with SkySlope, we're able to automate that process again for you. So real quick, when you do have a transaction, and as long as there is a client name and more importantly, an email address, we will pull that data in, and again, we'll trigger that survey out to your client. And on that collection form is actually a testimonial section that's actually embedded. So when you think of survey, it's actually a survey and a testimonial. So that's all on one page. When your client does complete and that request, you'll be sent an email notification, and that will be tied into your email address that we have from that roster feed, so that you'll be aware that you have a new testimonial in your account. So, and that's when kind of the fun stuff starts to happen. So really, as an agent, there's going to be a couple of things we're really going to kind of focus in for you guys today. And the biggest thing is going to be on this left menu bar, the testimonial dropdown. So the first thing we'll talk about is managed testimonials. So this is going to be the page that you'll want to go to look at your testimonials. You'll be able to see, testimonials that have come in. You'll be able to see the testimonial itself, who it came from, is it published. We do have it set up in such a way that any positive testimonial automatically will get published. And we'll talk about where it gets published to here in a second. And then you'll see a source column. And so if you hover your mouse over the little nifty little image, you'll see that this particular testimonial that was captured came from a survey. And again, that survey request is triggered through the SkySlope automation. Now, as we move kind of along the lines here, you'll see an actions button on this far right-hand side. So biggest thing is that you'll be looking at is share testimonial. And so anytime a new testimonial comes in, we suggest that you get into a little bit of a cadence in terms of sharing. So for testimonial tree within our company, our marketing team will actually do Testimonial Tree Tuesday. It's slightly better, and I preface that it's slightly better than Taco Tuesday. I have had some people say, Taco Tuesday is in conjunction with Tequila Tuesday, but I don't know if that's too early for you guys out on the West Coast. Luckily for us over here in Florida, we're after 12 o'clock, so I guess we can talk a little bit about tequila. But in terms of sharing, really encourage you guys to get into that cadence, whether it's 1 day a week, 2 days a week, whatever that is, making sure that you're sharing new content onto your social media platforms. So very easily, you can just click on the share testimonial button, and you'll see a couple of things that we see up here at the top. Obviously, we all know Facebook, and then the other option is LinkedIn. So both of these platforms, we were given approval to use their sharing tools. So very straightforward. If you want to share to Facebook, you would just click on this Facebook icon. If you're not logged into Facebook, you'll be prompted to log in, and then you can share your testimonial. Now, again, the look and feel is controlled directly by Facebook, since it is their sharing tool, and the same thing with LinkedIn. So, but again, it's a very quick, easy way for you as an agent to post a testimonial, get it out there to one of these platforms. Now, the other thing we have in knowing that with these two options, with Facebook and LinkedIn, that there are some limitations. And we know that sometimes agents want to have a little bit more control over the look, the feel, that sort of thing. So we have added an option for you to be able to create an image from that testimonial. And where this comes really into play is for those agents that like to use Instagram, for example. You can actually generate an image from the testimonial. So if we just click on the Launch Image Generator button here.
Yeah, so real quick, Justin, before you go, further, for those of you that not aware that you can go to testimonialtree.com and access it that way, or you can go to First Place and search for Testimonial Tree on the left-hand side and get to your testimonial tree as well, so you can follow through and do this. Also, we had a couple of comments that says that exactly what you're doing, and they're trying to click along too as well, that their source column looks different and it had a green box with the arrow pointing up and they can't click on it. So is there are you looking at something different than the agents will look at because you have, rights, that they may not have, or is this exactly what they should be looking at?
Yeah, so great question. So we'll kind of back up here, and I want to close this out. I'll go back to the Testimonials Manage page. And what they're seeing in that source column, there's a couple different options as to how a testimonial is captured. So the first one is through a survey. And so if we take a look on this source, and if you have a 1, 2, 3 with some lines, that's would be from a survey. Now the other thing you'll see here is a little hand. You as an agent have the ability to add a testimonial manually, which we'll get into here in a little bit. And then the other thing you'll see is from a collection link. So a collection link is whether, in this particular case, for this agent, these couple of agents, we actually pulled in their Zillow reviews into their testimonial tree account, or if you as an agent sent out a standalone testimonial request. So those are going to be really kind of the only options you'll see in terms of the source column. These images and icons aren't really clickable. Really what they're there for is just to give you a quick reference as to how this testimonial was captured. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Great questions. So we'll go back up here, go back to our top testimonial here that just came in. So we'll go back to the share testimonial. And so what we're talking about is the share process. So just kind of a quick recap. These options up here are the share tools that these platforms granted us access to use. So the look, the feel is controlled by each of these platforms. But the nice thing is again, being able to generate an image from the testimonial is something that we've built into the platform. We're always kind of working on this with some different improvements and stuff like that. For those of you that are on the call right now, this is completely off the record, but I will share it with you guys. And in that we are actually exploring some different options for this tool to make it even better. But for the short term, you can click on the launch image generator. And then what you'll see is, you get kind of a basic layout. So as an agent, when you go into your account, you've got some different options in terms of templates. And then we have some options with regards to the image. We know that with all the different web companies, vendors that we work with, the format and the sizing of the agent's profile isn't consistent. And so we did add these options in here for you as an agent to play around with that so that you can get your picture positioned, to your liking. So if you do have a question on that, just scroll through, and as you do make these changes, those will actually revert and show kind of in real time as you're playing around with that. Then as we kind of work through, pretty straightforward, you can change the font, decoration, you can change the bar color. So this bar color be this, the star color, again, the stars, the font, that sort of thing. Background, you can select an image and upload an image if you want to put something in the background here. It's really, again, this was really kind of designed for you guys to have a little bit more control over a testimonial when creating an image from it. Now, once you have this all set up, then you'll just click on the share button. Now, you will see that there are a couple of options here. This first one is share on social media. And these are, again, take you to, the Facebook, very simply, LinkedIn, that sort of thing. My suggestion, though, is to use the download your image. So if you download this, click the download button. What this will do is it will actually download that image onto your computer. I suggest saving it into maybe a marketing folder or a testimonial folder, that sort of thing. And the nice thing is by downloading it onto your device, especially for those agents that use Instagram, you can then log into your Instagram account and then upload that image. So the format does follow the requirements set forth by Instagram. And one of the questions we always get is, why can't I share this directly to Instagram? And the crazy thing is, even though Instagram is actually owned by Facebook, Instagram does not have a direct share capabilities or any tools at this time, which is, again, pretty strange since Facebook owns it. But I'm sure there's something kind of behind the scenes that they have their reasons for. But again, download the image, save it onto your computer, and then you can upload it. And you can actually upload that image to your Facebook page, LinkedIn, anywhere that you'd like to share it to. And the nice thing is again, we've actually seen where agents will create an image like this. And if you do like an electronic newsletter or something like that to your client, you can actually take this photo and upload it to your newsletter. So it's just a quick, easy way for you to take that image and get that testimonial out there. And again, having that fresh content on the web, so to speak. So the other question we often get is, what if there's a testimonial comes in that is maybe it's 5-star, they said how great you were, but maybe they made a reference to the title company or the lender, that maybe isn't as favorable, and you don't want that testimonial to be published. So what you can then do is, again, under the Actions button, click on Testimonial Marketing. And then to unpublish a testimonial, you just uncheck these boxes and then hit the Save button. So while we're on this page, let's talk a little bit about where testimonials will sync to, if you will. So this top option, Testimonial Tree Public Directory. So this is actually a microsite that we've built at Testimonial Tree for all of our users. You'll actually see in your account on the left menu bar, you'll see Online Directory. So it's a quick link that you can open up and see. Our directory page does index very well when it comes to Google SEO. We're actually fortunate enough to have a few friends that work at Google that may have shared some insights with us to help us make sure that that this page indexes very well. The other place is a Cloud CMA. So for those agents that do utilize Cloud CMA, your testimonials will get pulled over to your Cloud CMA profile. The biggest thing, again, with Cloud CMA is to make sure that your email address inside Cloud CMA is the same email address that is in your Testimonial Tree account, which the vast majority of you guys, I'm sure, use the same email. Then the other place under the marketing sites is Realtor.com. So we actually have a partnership with Realtor.com in that if an agent has connected their Testimonial Tree account with their Realtor.com profile, we will send any positive testimonial over to your Realtor.com page, and that will show up underneath the recommendations portion of your Realtor.com page. On that note, we do get some questions in regards to the ratings and review section. I will just let you know that we're actually having some conversations with Realtor.com to see how we can power that section as well. And as we get more news on that, obviously we'll be able to share that with you as it comes to fruition. Then of course, then the other spot is your website. So your website, will pulls in your testimonials, and so those will display there for you. But again, very simple, very straightforward. Any positive testimonial that comes in, all of these automatically get checked so that they automatically publish. So the other thing that we want to kind of dive into, and as we saw on the managed testimonials page, is we saw where one agent had gone in. And if we scroll down here a little bit, there's a little hand. So in this particular case, this agent added a testimonial into his account manually. And so when adding a testimonial manually, normally that occurs, if you maybe send out a request to a client, then maybe they just email you back. Or in the case of, I'm going to date my mom here. She's very big into sending personal handwritten notes. And so we know that oftentimes that clients will send you a personal thank you note. And in that case, if you feel that it would constitute as a testimonial, you can go into your account and then just click on the add testimonial button. Then in this box, you would just, type away that testimonial, or if they did email it into you, you can obviously copy and paste it in. It will automatically default to 5 stars. We have it set up in that fashion because we know that if something comes back that's less than favorable, you're probably not going to add it to your account. Then the other thing that we would just suggest that you add is just add the name of the author or the client that provided that testimonial. And again, this testimonial will default to 5 stars, and it will automatically default so that all these boxes are checked. And the last thing you have to do is just hit save. When you do add a testimonial manually, you will not get a notification, just for the simple fact that you guys, as an agent, added that testimonial manually. You probably don't need to be notified again that you do have a new testimonial in there. So the other option under the testimonial dropdown is collect. And so there's a couple of things we really kind of want to focus in on here. So there's a couple ways in which you can send out a standalone testimonial request. So you can either send a request, from Testimonial Tree. So that would be simply clicking on send via email or send via text message. Click on either one of those. If you do send via email, the only requirement is that you have a valid email address, and then you hit send. And on the flip side, if you do send a request via text message, just have to make sure you provide a valid phone number and hit send. Very simple. And when you do send a testimonial request through the platform, that will actually be recorded in your account, which you can then see. Now, the other option to send a standalone testimonial request would be from your personal email. I would say that the majority of agents, if they do want to send a standalone testimonial request, will typically send it from their personal email. This way they can personalize the message. They can, share some funny stories or, whatever, kind of reference, and talk about your relationship and the journey that you guys went through, whether it was buying or selling of a property. The only thing that you'll want to include is your own collection link. And so you can just copy this link here and be sure to paste that into the body of the email for your clients to click on. Now, the other thing while we're on this page and this is something that we highly recommend, is to add your collection link as well as your click here to view my testimonial link to your email signature. One, it's a quick way for a client to give you a testimonial or view your testimonials. So it's for viewing the testimonials. This would really kind of come in handy, especially if you're sending a listing presentation to a potential seller. You can put your packet together, shoot that info off to them, and then you can guide them to say, hey, take a look at and see what my past clients have said by clicking the view my testimonial link. And again, you can just add these hyperlinks into your email signature. Very effective, and would definitely encourage you guys to add that. Now, while we're on this page, one of the things that we've learned this from other agents that we've talked to, because we see that they have quite a few testimonials in their account. And one of the things that we've learned from them is that even though we do have that automation, like with you guys through SkySlope, where we're sending out requests to your buyers and sellers, we've learned that a lot of agents like to send out standalone testimonial requests to other vendors that helped you get that deal done. So when we talk about other vendors, think about, was there a lender involved? Was there a title company? Was there a home inspector? Think outside the box a little bit, because those contacts that you worked with to help get that deal done are probably super inclined to help you, provide a testimonial because you either referred business to them. It's a great way to, build that relationship that you have with that particular vendor, or even if it's a new vendor that maybe you're just starting out working with, and you want to add them to your preferred contacts. Again, we know that in real estate it's very much a relationship business, and so by asking for a testimonial from that vendor, and on the other side, you can always say, hey, you have would love to give you a testimonial for the great service. Would you do the same for me? So again, it's really kind of thinking outside the box within each transaction. So those are just some simple things to kind of consider and remember as we go along here. So now that we've kind of talked about this main box, that this is going to be your primary point of where you're going to be in your testimonial tree account is under this testimonial dropdown. Let's take a look at some of the other areas that you may want to take a look at, or you want to just double check some things. So under the reports tab, you'll see in your account survey requests sent. So if you've had a recent transaction and aren't sure if a request went out to your buyer or seller, you can click on the survey request sent, and that will actually give you a breakdown of the requests that have gone out on your behalf. We'll have a client name, email, the sender, and was it captured or not. So one of the things you'll see here with some zeros is that on those requests, this particular agent did not provide a valid mobile number. But in any fashion, you can see, like for this particular client right here, the request went out and it was captured. And you'll also see in this column a resend column. So if you see that this particular request was not captured, you can simply resend that request to that client. Maybe you ran into them at the grocery store, maybe picking kids up from school, wherever. you do have the ability to resend that request out to that client. And the same thing kind of holds true under the reports tab. If you did send a standalone testimonial request out, you can click on that, and that will give you a quick breakdown of any testimonial request that you did send from your own personal testimonial tree account. So those, again, quick references for you to just double check and see if a request did go out on your behalf, or if you sent a request out. It gives you a good idea if something has been responded to or not. Now, the last thing we kind of want to dive into is you'll see in your account a tab labeled review generation. So when we talk about review generation, this is where we talk about external sites. So if you as an agent have a Google My Business profile or a Zillow profile, you have, as an agent, have the ability to add those links to your account. And upon the completion of a request, that client will have the option to post that testimonial that they just left you onto your Google My Business page or Zillow profile. And then on the flip side, we also have the ability to pull in those reviews from a Google My Business page or a Zillow profile page, if you utilize any of those third-party sites. So to add a link to your account, and don't worry, we will actually get you some how-tos that I think can be. Will you do a blast with a couple of helpful links on that, Greg?
Yes, we will.
Okay, cool, perfect. But yeah, so to set this up, you'll just go into your account under the Manage page. You just click on Add a Site, and then for the link source, you'll grab for Zillow, for example, you would grab your Zillow profile link. So you just go in, open that up, paste that in here. As you can see, I've got quite a few in here that we've been assisting a few people with. Site nickname, and this is probably just my OCD, but if I was adding my own Zillow profile link, I'd probably put Justin's Zillow in there. And then for the weight, you just have to put in a 0, and then you'll select the site of the link that you're adding. Again, Google and Zillow are probably going to be your most popular. And then when you get into your account, under the assigned user, just make sure that you select your name. And then once you're done with that, you'll just hit Save Changes. Now, by adding those links, again, we will have the ability to pull in, Zillow reviews or Google My Business reviews for those agents that do utilize any of those third parties. And those will actually show up in your account. And if you recall from the Manage Testimonials page, you saw a couple of agents have already added their Zillow profile links, and you saw the little Zillow icon. So we knew that that particular testimonial was imported from that agent's Zillow page. Now on those, just to let you know, once you do add a Google My Business link or a Zillow profile link, those reviews from those third-party sites will be pulled in, but it may take a few days. So probably within about 72 hours, that initial batch will populate and be in your account. So if you don't see anything right away, don't worry, because we have a system set up in place internally on our side where we go in and monitor those profiles. So we're depending on when that sync runs, it may take a couple of days for those to appear. And again, after those links are added, your clients will then have the ability to share and post that testimonial that they just left for you onto one of those sites, whether it's a Google My Business page or Zillow. Now, granted, each of those platforms do have certain procedures in place. So for like Zillow, we know that in order for that client to paste that testimonial onto your Zillow profile, that particular client would need to have a Zillow account. And that's just a rule that Zillow has in place, which we obviously have to adhere to because they set the rules and policies within their platform on that. But again, very simple, very straightforward. The nice thing is, with First Team, you guys do have a lot of automation in place. So really, it allows you guys to focus more so on, working with your buyers and sellers. And really kind of the biggest takeaways that I would share with you as agents is, to really get into the habit of, sharing that new testimonials, maybe one a week. You can follow the Testimonial Tuesday, or you could even do Testimonial Thursday. Just block off a little time on your calendar, just so that you do have that fresh content onto your social media pages. And the other big takeaway is to not be afraid to ask for a testimonial from outside vendors, because as we all know, those guys are going to be really good resources for you to capture more testimonials. More testimonials you have, the better you're going to index when it comes to a Google search. And that's really about it. Those are kind of the key factors, for you guys as agents. If there are any new agents that are on this call today, that are just kind of starting out in the business, you can send testimonial requests to friends, family, maybe some old coworkers, just so you can start get a little bit of traction as you start to grow your real estate business out there.
And Justin, we do have quite a few, and I'm going to go over these, and they might bring some clarity to others, and then we'll open up for questions too as well. But we do have some chat questions. So one, posting on social media. One of the agents says they usually generate the image from the feature, and the font is too small when I post on social media and hard for people to read when it's posted. Any way to make that font bigger?
Yeah, so right now, one of the things, and this is primarily why we're exploring, some potential other options with that. So the longer the testimonial is, the text will actually get a little bit smaller. Now, with that being said, if it is a longer testimonial and maybe there's a section that you want to highlight, you can actually go into the image generation tool, and on the description tab, you can actually highlight a section of that testimonial so that it does appear a little bit bigger. Some of the other options that we're looking to potentially convert over to do provide us a little more flexibility than what we do have now, and that's one of the reasons why we are exploring some other options with that image generation. But great question, and that's something that we've been looking at pretty hard, and why we're investigating some other options with that.
Okay, and then Justin, so does testimonial tree, is it only for the main agent or the co-listing agent? What if we have the main and the co, here both at First Team? Is the testimonials going out for that, or for both of them, or only the main?
Yeah, typically, so in those situations, if it's a co-list or representing, two agents representing the buyer. Typically, the request is going to go out on behalf of the primary agent that's listed within SkySlope. Now, with that being said, within SkySlope, if there's an opportunity to have both essentially two records within SkySlope, then we can send out requests on behalf of both agents. Now, in those instances where there are two agents and only one request goes out, but maybe Greg, it's you and I are the co-agents on the particular testimonial, and the request goes out on your behalf, and it says Greg and Justin were awesome. We do have the ability to add a secondary person to that testimonial, so that the testimonial will appear in Greg's testimonial tree account as well as my testimonial tree account.
Okay. And we'll definitely talk about this, Justin, because if we do have we have two agents, and let's make it, maybe just as a something that just happens, right? Okay. Let's see here. Next, what about video testimonials?
Yeah. So within the testimonial tree collection, clients do have the ability to take a video testimonial and upload it to the testimonial. We are actually exploring right now creating a new option, within testimonial tree specifically for videos, because we know that videos are becoming more and more popular. Now, the one thing that we'll have to, work with is your web vendor, in terms of how they pull that content over, because I think right now the vast majority is text only, but we can obviously work with your web company on that to discuss options.
Okay, great. And then one is about teams, because there is definitely quite a few teams here at First Team. Getting a team name and a photo in, and then creating requests from that. They just want clarity on that.
Yeah, so a lot of that is actually kind of dictated through that roster feed that we get from your internal IT department. So and we know that teams don't necessarily all operate the same way. So that's always internally, a lot of brokerages will kind of figure out how that team wants to operate. Do they want to have just one general team account for everybody so that everything is tied into that team account? Some teams prefer to have all the agents kind of listed individually but then grouped together. So there's definitely some options with that, but obviously we can dive into that a little bit deeper to make sure that we try to accommodate all the teams as best as possible, depending on how they operate.
Okay. And then they say here that one agent was saying here that, well, actually, it's been more than one. Testimonials are no longer hitting the website, the First Team website. Is this happening for everyone? I just got a call. Someone else is with the same issue. I don't know if this is for everyone, but I guess it could be a known issue. I will follow up today for everybody to see if that's in the works.
Hey, Greg.
Maybe, yes.
Sorry to cut you off really quick on that note. I've reported it to IT support, so hopefully they're already working on that.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Jeremiah, and I'll follow up. Okay, let's see here.
Perfect. And I believe that your web company pulls in the testimonials through an API. So they basically make a call to pull in all the approved testimonials once a day on that. Okay. And so should be probably a fairly easy update, I would think, with the web company. But if they have questions, they can always reach out to us directly on that.
Right, Justin, thank you. Is there any special way to send to both buyers, husband and wife, without sending two different emails?
Yeah, so with that, so anytime so each survey that is sent has its own ID for tracking purposes. So, so if there is a husband and wife, in the same email, only one request is going to go out to the joint email. Now, if a husband and wife have two different emails, you can have a record in SkySlope, one for the husband, one for the wife, with each of their individual email addresses. But the reason why we do that again is for tracking purposes, because if you send a request out to the same email address, and say the wife answers the request, and then the husband goes to answer it, it will say, you've already completed it, and that's internally for tracking purposes, best to have two records on that.
Okay, and then let's see here. If do you have to have a testimonial in testimonial tree before Zillow reviews can be pulled in?
No, you don't have to have anything within testimonial tree. If you have your testimonial tree account, you can add your Zillow profile link into your account, and then we can just start pulling in those Zillow reviews.
Okay. And let's see here. TT has never unlikely sent me. Okay. So the other question we have one more, and then we'll open up to question here. Is so this is automatically on a closed transaction, sent out, for testimonials, but some are saying that, they have none, but you're saying through SkySlope, it should be automatically pushed out, correct?
Correct. Yep. As long as there's a valid email address and or mobile number.
Okay.
Yep.
In that email address, in that valid phone number for you mean for the consumer, the buyer.
For the buyer or seller, because without that information, we don't have any way of knowing how to get that out to a person.
Now, is that sent out utilizing the agent's first team email or their personal email, and does that create a problem?
Yeah, so whatever email address is used in SkySlope needs to be the same email address that they have inside their testimonial tree account.
So must be same address. Okay, that will solve some of the issues that are out there.
Because that's how we're able to decipher who that request belongs to.
Yeah, no, I get that. Will we get a notification if it can't send a request out?
Right now, we do not. One of the things we're actually in process of building is, for example, when we pull the transaction data from SkySlope and maybe an agent forgets to put an email address in there, we're actually building out something internally right now that will send a notification to that agent to say, hey, congratulations on your recent transaction. We're attempting to send a request to XYZ client, but we need an email address. Please click here to add a valid email address. Don't quote me on that exact verbiage, but that's something that we're scoping out right now.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Yep. All right, let's open it up to anyone else that has some questions. That was it for the chat. Anyone want to voice some questions for Justin?
Yes, I've got a question.
Okay, Cindy.
I did ask in the chat, I noticed that I don't have any reviews anymore, or testimonials anymore. And I'm wondering, I have a TC that does all this. Does she send out the reviews for request, or why is nothing there?
And that's where, Cindy?
In my records that should show whatever testimonials I've received. And I see that I have a few, but basically in the entire last year, I've got nothing.
Okay, Justin.
Yeah, I'll take a note of that. And take a look at your account.
Okay, thanks.
See if I see anything.
Yeah, really. there's one I input manually, but otherwise the ones that have been requested to come back are well over a year old.
Okay.
This is Shihong from Urban Office. I have the same problem too. I have a much more testimonial on my website. Now I can only see 2.
Yeah. With the website, there's something they're already in the works. We're trying to get some things settled in on the website portion.
Oh, there's something wrong with that website?
No, just with the feed right now. They're working on it.
Oh.
I've actually
because all my past testimonial are gone, not on my site anymore.
Yes, we were talking about that earlier. There's already a ticket into support for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And then Julie Bach has the same issue as Cindy. Can you look into that too, Justin, please?
Yep.
You know, Justin, I see no emails that have gone out requesting testimonies like ever. And my partner, Adrian, says that she hasn't seen either. The only email, testimony I have is a manual one. And well, anyway, how do I make sure everything is set up? Is that something that someone there can confirm?
Sure. And what's your name?
Lawrence Gazetta. I'm with the Barranca office.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, outstanding. If there's any more that have some issues, go to support@firstteam.com. But also you can contact Justin. Is there a way to get a hold of you direct, Justin, for this, or should we go through support?
Yeah, I mean, depending on if there's a website issue, it sounds like your internal IT folks are in contact with your web company. So if it's related to that, I'd probably direct them to your internal IT team. If it's for anything outside of outside of the web company, there's a little help section down here in the lower left corner.
Yes.
That will take agents to some articles, that sort of thing, that they can search. And then if they don't see maybe an article or some information that they're looking for, they can always submit a support ticket into our team. And then obviously our team will then investigate, work with the agent directly, and or, if we need to get in touch with someone at your company, we can do that as well.
Okay, I appreciate that, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then, all right, is there any other questions other than the messages not going out to the clients? Because obviously, we need to definitely look into that. I will help out and make some calls too to see where we're at and be following up on that. But is there anything about the inner workings of the testimonial trees and how to gain, some testimonials?
So just a quick question about like when you get a testimonial on one of the other sites like the Zillows of the world or the others, it sounds like this kind of connects to those. So does that mean then if they give us that one testimonial, that's now captured in Testimonial Tree and we can really collect all of our testimonials in one place called Testimonial Tree?
You got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Outstanding. Let's see.
Can I ask one more thing? Yeah, the crew trying to create my Facebook tab through that feature. It just says it's failed.
Yeah.
Doesn't really give me any explanation. Just says except that you don't have permission to install a custom tab.
Yeah. So Facebook Facebook made some changes on for the business pages to install that tab. So if your Facebook business page does not have at least 2,000 followers, Facebook will not allow you to install that tab.
But that's awesome. I don't know any agent that has 2,000 followers on their business page, but maybe they do. Maybe I'm not doing a good job marketing.
Well, and I'll just say this off the record, but I know it's being recorded in that. So when Facebook made that change, my my dev team, who are a whole heck of a lot smarter than I am, they're kind of in those little chats and stuff like that. And when those changes were made by Facebook, there was a lot of chit chat with a lot of developers on that.
Yeah.
Because the notion is, and what's, I don't want to say what's the reality of somebody having that many followers on a particular page. It probably was not the best decision made by Facebook, especially a new business starting out and trying to get that online presence. You're definitely limiting those businesses, regardless if it's real estate, medical, painter, whatever the case may be. They definitely limited that. And I will say, honestly, from my opinion, it's not for the good. I think that 2,000 number is way too high. I could see something maybe along the lines of maybe 50 or 100, something like that. But unfortunately, they didn't contact us at Testimonial Tree to see our opinions on that.
All right. Is there any other questions that we have?
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Amanda.
I don't know if I missed it, but if I in the review generation, if I put in my Google My Business, and then because I'm one of the ones who send out the link through my email, because I asked them to do a review manually like that, and then I do send the Google My Business link in addition. Do I still need to send that Google My Business link if I already put in the Google My Business under the review generation, or am I doubling up now?
You don't necessarily have to add it twice, because after that client gives you a testimonial on the thank you page, there'll be a quick thank you for your testimonial. If you'd like to share it to if you would share this to my Google page, you can just click this link. So it's just a little bit about education and how you present that to your client.
So now that it's on my review generation, I've added it to the review generation on Testimonial Tree. So now I don't have to have it on my personal email.
Correct.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
So I've got a question. I've been using Testimonial Tree just manually and sending out, and they've been pretty responsive about giving me testimonials. I'm asking now the reverse question. If I get it on Testimonial Tree, it posts it on the Google site?
It will not automatically post it onto Google. Your clients will then have to take that next step, and they have the ability to share that testimonial that they left for you by clicking your Google link, which will then take them to your Google My Business profile, where they can paste that in onto your Google My Business page.
Okay, so they've got to do it. Now, so what do we have to do to get that message to them? How does that go?
Yeah, so if you've added your Google My Business link to your Testimonial Tree account, it's just a little bit of education, kind of like what we were just talking about with Amanda, in that if you send out the testimonial request, upon completion, it's going to ask you to, share this to Google. If you could take that extra step for me, that would be great. I'm really trying to grow my presence on my Google My Business page.
Okay, but that's a separate email that we would manually send to them?
No, it's just because it's all in one. It's just if you communicate that to your client directly. So, if you were my client, I'd be like, hey, Dave, it's great working with you. Would love to get a testimonial from you. Can I count on you for a testimonial?
Usually what we do is send ourselves a test email so you can see what it looks like before you send it to a client.
Yep.
Okay, so I've already gotten the testimonial, let's say. What do I do to get them to do Google? Do I have to send the email, or is that automated in some way, or what? I mean, I'm not clear on what you're saying.
Yeah, so it will show up on the thank you page.
What's the thank you page?
Yeah, so if you want to go into your testimonial tree account and send yourself a testimonial request, you can actually walk through the process that your clients go through so that you can see how it visually looks. And then once you go through the submit button, and it will, the client will hit submit, and then it will say, you know, thank you for the testimonial. Please, you know, if you'd like to share this or post this testimonial onto my Google page, you know, you can click the copy button and click my Google button.
Okay, so it's a one-step thing if you've told them, if you've prepped them in advance to do it. So they write the testimonial with an email that comes to them, and then after they say submit, it says thank you, and, you know, thanks again, but, you know, hit copy and paste to finish the job, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
And that other link is there in the thank you?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, and the text of what they just said. That's what you're saying, copy and paste.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's still a couple of steps for them, but at least it's linear for them.
Is there any way for us to take past testimonials and post them on the Google page? Or
Google does not allow you as a Google My Business owner to share your own testimonials to your Google My Business profile.
Okay, if I went back to them though, they could, if I sent them an email and had the verbiage that they wrote, they could click the link and go in there and paste and post
Absolutely.
it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that's what we usually do, is ask our clients to copy and paste the same review to our Google, and we give them the link. That's why I'm saying, do we not have to do that now that there's a link now going to be there?
All right, here's something else real quick, is that some of the agents wondering, do you have to have a transaction to get a review through Testimonial Tree? Or can you send out to family or friends, or just for people that you're working with showing property and trying to get a testimonial on how you work?
Yeah, you can as an agent, you can send a request you know, to clients that you're currently working with. You can send stuff or testimonial requests to family, friends, past coworkers. You can even send it to, you know, current coworkers. There's no real rules, if you will, in terms of sending out a testimonial request on.
Yeah. Okay. Outstanding. All right. Is there any other?
And that's really powerful, especially for newer agents, you know, that trying to get a little bit of traction, because you want to get something out on the web.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Now, can someone do more than one? Let's say that you're just checking up on your services throughout, and how's it, you know, and how your services are, how is the, you know, today's approach? Did you get everything you needed, you know, and then you get a testimonial for that day. Let's say then they go through a transaction, you get another or you're sending out testimonial, but they already have one from that particular email or that particular person. Can that person have now a newer one because it's based on a closing, or does that negate?
No, you can definitely send it out right away. You know, we've seen some instances where, you know, maybe an agent works with a potential buyer, you know, and they get the listing, you know, of that property. Agent will go back in and, you know, send them a quick testimonial request.
Fantastic.
And then once that property closes, you know, I'm not sure. I'm sure that the market out in California is very similar to how it is here in Florida, where, you know, property goes on the market today. It's, you know, multiple offers within a week.
Yeah, or a day.
Or a day.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But this would be a great way how to boost them. Is there any other last, you know, minute questions real quick so that we can wrap up with Justin?
I just have a quick question. This is all great information. Is this going to be sent out or so we can watch the webinar again or review it?
Yes, Michelle, all our weekly Wednesday trainings here at First Team Real Estate are then uploaded on First Place, and together we are First Team, unless they decide to put it into another place. But yes, we have all the past recordings too as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Well, Justin, we definitely appreciate, you being here. Also, your company, what you do, with Testimonial Tree and how we have partnerships with you. We definitely appreciate it because I think it's a valuable tool for us and a resource for us, especially testimonials in today's world. But with that said, before we say goodbye to you, Justin, next week, Wednesday training, we got Lucid Press, but it's not just Lucid Press, it's diving deeper into Lucid Press. So Kaylee Ryan at the inside marketing department there is going to do in the training, learn how to create and download documents with QR codes, which QR codes are very important today, as well as how to utilize the digital sharing options, including embedded in an email for your email blast, publish on the web for digital presentations. So the HTML codes on how to do that. And it's important that for those of you who did a Lucid Press, make sure that your Lucid Press login is working. Get that done and out of the way so you can follow along next Wednesday too as well for that. But it's great because what you can do in a postcard and then digitally get your QR code or flyer that's out there. Now you can recreate something, put it in HTML, then do email blast too as well, and get things out more than one way. And we'll be diving deep into that next week there. Justin, we definitely appreciate you. Thank you for doing what you did here today.
No problem. Just real quick, I was just kind of thinking about your next week's topic, and one of the things you could potentially, and I'm just kind of, we like to brainstorm a lot, but one of the things you could potentially do is maybe even take your collection link and turn that into a QR code.
Yeah, definitely.
As an option, it's we always like to try to think outside the box, and a lot of our growth has come actually from you guys as agents, and First Team has been a wonderful partner for many, almost since Testimonial Tree started. So we appreciate the feedback, the good, the bad, the ugly. The good we'd like, the areas that we can improve on, we'd like that even better.
Yes. Justin, thank you again for today. Everyone, we appreciate you being part of First Team Real Estate, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.